Because of structural problems with its 737 MAX series, Boeing has been losing market share to Airbus in the aviation industry. The new Boeing 797 aircraft, on the other hand, might help rebuild Boeing's reputation and possibly regain its advantage over Airbus. If the 797 launches well, it might have a major impact on aviation in the future and be important for Boeing's future. The 797 is anticipated to revolutionize aviation and provide Boeing with a fresh avenue to challenge Airbus. The 797 is expected to surprise Airbus while transforming aviation in the future. Here's why. The mid-size Boeing 797 first appeared as a possible 757 replacement in the early 2010s. Positioned between the 757 and 767 in terms of size, the 797 seeks to bridge the gap between the 737 and 787's range capabilities. Boeing had to respond to market demand in the middle of the 2020s for a new aircraft design that blended the advantages of larger aircraft with the economies of smaller ones. They made the choice to either develop a new mid-market design from scratch or to enlarge the 737 MAX 10. Though they debated a different design for a later introduction, they ultimately decided on the 737 MAX 10. Boeing saw this market as a major potential and planned to launch the new mid-size airplane, NMA, the Boeing 797, in the middle of the 2020s with a target of over 4,000 units. With features including remote airport access and long-distance travel, the Boeing 797 was created to fill a gap in the market between narrow-body or wide-body aircraft. It was predicted to outperform older wide-bodied aircraft in terms of revenue generation and operating expenses, coming in at 40% less. The Boeing 757, which went out of production in 2004, had a long wait for a replacement, the 797. The project was delayed nevertheless, while Boeing concentrated on 737 MAX certification and related problems in 2020. Plans for a shorter version were briefly discussed in 2021, but breakthroughs in engine technology and resource allocation forced the development of that version to stop. Boeing endured ongoing difficulties and criticism with the 737 MAX aircraft series, despite making significant investments in the model. Boeing might benefit greatly from bringing the 797 back to life in the mid-market segment. Let's examine some of the noteworthy characteristics that Boeing is anticipated to have in order to address its issues. The Boeing 797 could reportedly be offered in two variants: the 797-6 and the 797-7, with 225 seats and a range of more than 5,000 nautical miles. The 797-6 would carry 225 passengers, while the 797-7 would carry 275 passengers and have a little fewer kilometers of 4,500 nautical miles. An innovative 220 kilonewton turbofan engine with a bypass ratio of more than 10:1 and an overall ratio of pressure of 50:1 is anticipated to power the new aircraft. Pratt & Whitney, GE Aviation, and CFM International are a few possible engine suppliers. Rolls-Royce may provide its UltraFan to the project. With a carbon fiber fuselage and composite architecture, the Boeing 797 is expected to be a two-class aircraft that aims to increase cabin pressure and humidity levels while reducing weight. Its rivals will include the XLR, the Airbus A321neo, and maybe the A350. With 275 seats, the larger 797-7 version will have somewhat more than the A321 XLR's 250 seats. Compared to the A321 XLR's 210 seats, the smaller 797-6 model will feature more seats. Airbus places a high priority on fuel efficiency, The A321XLR can go up to 4,700 nautical miles at a maximum speed of Mach 0.78. For the 797, Boeing has the option to select a propulsion technology that uses less fuel. In light of these elements, the Boeing 797's potential to save Boeing ultimately depends on how well it performs in comparison to its rivals in terms of carrying capacity, range, fuel economy, and total operating costs. This comparison lays the groundwork for figuring out whether Boeing can actually reclaim its standing in the commercial aviation market with the 797. Examining the new Boeing 797's development plans reveals that it may make use of the most recent developments in digital technology, as well as novel fuels like hydrogen and sustainable aviation fuel. It may also incorporate newly developed engine technologies. The Boeing 797 is intended to bridge the gap between the largest 737 MAX version and the 787 Dreamliner, serving as a contemporary replacement for the outdated 757 and 767 types. Airlines such as Delta have been waiting impatiently for a practical replacement for their fleets of 757s, but they have been forced to keep flying these older types because Boeing has not produced any good substitutes. New and upgraded aircraft are also needed in light of the ongoing problems with the 737 MAX and recent accidents with the 787, such as the alleged in-flight incident involving a LATAM Airlines flights to New Zealand that resulted in injuries owing to an instrument failure. By utilizing cutting-edge engines, modernized systems, and sophisticated fuselage materials, the Boeing 797 seeks to revamp the twin-aisle aircraft market and break free from the limitations of designs created decades ago. For the ensuing few decades, there will likely be a significant demand for twin-aisle aircraft, especially in Asia. Moreover, budget long-haul flying is becoming increasingly feasible as airlines such as Southwest Airlines and Ryanair investigate this market niche. The 797's development was put on hold due to new engine technology from Boeing. However, these engines are now being made available. Because of the time, Boeing might be able to introduce the 797 with cutting-edge technology, which might make it a major competitor in the market. The Boeing 797, if priced competitively, has the potential to have a big impact on aviation going forward, especially in the twin-aisle, especially long-haul, low-cost segments. The most recent developments in aircraft engine technology, such the Rolls-Royce UltraFan, General Electric's GE9X, including the CFM open rotor concept, are now at the point of development where they can be taken into consideration for future aircraft designs, like the Boeing 797. With its more efficient design and lighter airframe, the Boeing 797 is a strong contender for fleet modernization in the passenger and freight markets. Nevertheless, rather than concentrating on this market niche, Boeing is concentrating on revitalizing its mid-size twin-aisle offering. The company's unwillingness to expedite the construction of a new aircraft, which has been exacerbated by the ongoing troubles with the 737 MAX, and progressing the 777X programs, are only two of the main challenges facing the development and introduction of the 797. Boeing's reputation has suffered as a result of the 737 MAX issues, and the company has reoriented its efforts to address manufacturing issues and uphold safety regulations. Customers' trust in future models, particularly the 797, may be impacted by Boeing's safety record, mistrust, and prior errors. In order to guarantee that the 797 can launch without being overshadowed by previous scandals, the business must overcome technical difficulties and rebuild its reputation. Boeing faces the risk of undermining public confidence if it prioritizes creating a new aircraft, such as the 797, over resolving safety and quality issues with the 737 MAX and 787. Before these lingering problems are completely fixed, Boeing is not likely to change course and launch the 797. But, in order to keep Airbus ahead in the mid-market segment, Boeing might feel compelled to move quickly. If Boeing moves on with its development, the Boeing 797 has a great deal of potential and might satisfy a sizable demand. The aircraft might be used for a number of purposes. As a contemporary substitute, it might even take the place of the 737. The 737 series, which was groundbreaking in both the 1960s and the 1970s, is currently under review due to its age, with the recent concerns with the 737 MAX, which have been highlighted by increased FAA oversight. With decades of adaptability and dependable performance, the 797 may be available without the structural worries that come with older aircraft designs. The 797 should arrive without the legacy problems of its predecessors, as Boeing claims that cutting-edge digital techniques will be used in the creation of their upcoming aircraft. The CEO of Boeing made the suggestion that new digital development tools would hasten the 797's development and possibly hasten its release into the market. With the worldwide fleet predicted to quadruple over the next 20 years, the 797 may play a key role in Boeing's recovery and future plans. Because of the 797's economical design for moderately sized flights, airlines may more easily adapt to the rapidly evolving travel industry. Boeing runs the risk of falling behind Airbus in the mid-market sector if it does not move swiftly.